allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How come we don't have minutes?
I'm sorry?
It says minutes none. And I guess I didn't try to read the minutes. I tried to read it.
We were not able to have them. They will be on the next.
We'll have them on the next one? Okay, thank you very much. I didn't
Microphone.
look one.
It's a good thing you didn't look for
A
them.
good thing, huh? All right. Mr. Walker, would you like to present this ordinance?
Yes, Chair. This concerns a major amendment request to the Malik Sal BPUD. And on March 11th, 2003, the City Commission adopted an ordinance which approved the Malik Sal BPUD. It basically approved a rezone from B5 heavy commercial Volusia County because the property had originally been in Volusia County and then was annexed into the city of Holly Hill. So when it came into our city, it had Volusia County zoning, which was B5 heavy commercial. And it was rezoned to business plan unit development in Holly Hill. The property is located on the west side of Nova Road, south on the corner of South Nova Road and Alabama Avenue. Currently, the property contains two structures, and at the time, back in 2003, it was approved for automotive sales, services and repairs, and there was also a single-family home on the property, so that use was approved as well. Then, a little less than a year later, on January 27th, 2004, the City Commission approved its first major amendment to this BPUD to allow the uses that are stated in the B5 zoning district. Those uses are listed in the staff report in Exhibit A. Now, it's been about 19 years. There have been a lot of changes along Nova Road South. The applicant's property now is surrounded by properties that are zoned CC1 that actually permit a greater variety of uses than the applicant's property does. And in response to these changes, the applicant would like to add additional uses to their BPUD and make adjustments to some of the development requirements, such as the setbacks and the minimum building separation. So that's the purpose of this amendment request. The applicant's requesting to amend the approved BPUD basically as follows. The use of the single-family home has been removed. It's clear that a single-family home use there would really not work on such a busy corner, and it would not fit in with what's happening along Nova Road. They are adding shed sales and display, along with all of the uses in the B6 zoning district. Those have been added, and those uses are also in your staff report in Exhibit B. And also specific criteria have been added as a requirement for any proposed shed use. So if they're going to allow sheds and display on that site, there's site plan criteria that have been added to that. Also, setbacks and minimum building separations have been reduced and are now consistent with those on the surrounding CC1 zone properties. So the properties around this property are all zone CC1, so they actually have greater uses. The setbacks are less. Their development standards are less strict than this particular piece. So this particular piece has the proposal is to modify their development standards, such as the setbacks, allow the buildings to be closer together if there's any redevelopment in the future, and this will bring it into more of a consistency with the properties that sandwich and are across from this property. We also looked at consistency with the land development code. The request has been evaluated for compatibility with the land development regulations, and staff finds that the requested PD major amendment is consistent with the city's land development regulations and compatible with the trend of development in the area. Again, when we say the trend of development area, we're talking about what's going on, what's happened around it, what surrounds the property, and as stated, those are CC1 uses, which are more intense than what the applicant is able to do now. And incidentally, more intense than what they're asking for. Even if this board does decide to recommend the changes and all of the uses in the B6 zoning, those are still less intense than what is allowed around him. With regard to consistency with the comprehensive plan, the rezone request or the major amendment request has been evaluated for consistency with all of the applicable policies of the city's comprehensive plan. For example, when you look at policy flu 1.1.2, it talks about the ratio of building floor area, or FAR, for the general commercial development, future land use, that it would not exceed 1.95, and it does not exceed 1.95, and if there is any future development, it will not exceed 1.95. We will make sure that the FAR is consistent with what the comprehensive plan allows. So, based on this, the staff recommends that this board and that the City Commission adopt an ordinance enacting a rezone from business plan unit development to business plan unit development, which is a major amendment, adding uses and modifying specific development standards and the associated development agreement for approximately 0.8 acres on the west side of Nova Road, south, on the corner of South Nova Road and Alabama Avenue, and more specifically known as 1190 and 1184 South Nova Road. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Y'all have any questions for Mr. Walker this morning? Is there anyone here who would like to speak for this? No? Okay, anyone here who want to speak against it? All right. Well, I did have a few questions. The CC1 zoning allows a 15-foot setback. Is that correct? All right.
Yes.
What- The B6 equally takes every B ahead of it and allows all those uses. So you got all the uses of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So we have B5's uses, C1's setbacks.
Yes, well, keep in mind, this is a PD, so PDs often have a mixture of...
I understand that.
Right.
It's just that I looked at the pictures and I see that nobody set 15 feet back along Nova Road.
No, yeah, it's, these things, the property the way that it is now, these setbacks and all don't really apply. This is in the future, if he were to come back and say, you know, I'm going to demo or I'm going to add structures, then in that case, those setbacks would apply.
But then my question is, it says you have a 25-foot setback along LPGA and along US 1.
Right, for,
Major corridors, right?
because in the redevelopment district for CC1, but otherwise outside of the redevelopment district, it's only 15
It's
feet.
only 15?
Yes, sir. Which, that's a lot for Ridgewood Avenue and LPGA as well, 25 feet, because really, there really aren't many properties along LPGA and Ridgewood that have a setback of 25 feet.
Well, we're struggling with that right now because of the undergrounding.
Right.
Because the FPL decided they had to have a 15-foot easement. But there's a lot of buildings that are well inside of that 15 feet along
Right.
US 1 through the... Okay. Y'all, anyone else have any questions? Those are the things that were just, that I was pondering, the 15, and then I looked, and Of course, I use Nova and through that area a lot. So it's a busy, busy little section of Holly Hill, that's for sure. Yeah. But those were my questions. So, that being said, and no one else having any questions? If I can find the recommendation amongst all this stuff, here we go. I would entertain a recommendation to the city commission to adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from business planned unit development to business planned unit development, a major amendment adding use and modifying specific development standards and the associated development agreement for approximately 0.8 acres on the west side of Nova Road South, on the corner of South Nova Road and Alabama Avenue, and more specifically known as 1190 and 1184. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Call the question, please.
Tony,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's that. Okay. All right, is there any old business that we need to look at? Does anybody have anything? Brian, you have anything?
I would just update you that we are having a commission workshop on the 12th. The city manager will be bringing before, I'll be in attendance as well, but the city manager will be bringing before the commission the thought as to whether or not they would like to allow staff to
Have 10%?
approve certain
Yeah.
distances when it comes to variances or certain percentages. That topic will be brought before them.
On the 12th of January, December?
December 12th is the workshop,
December 12th.
right? So I'll
When and where,
update.
what time?
It's usually here,
Okay.
and at 5 o'clock. Sometimes they're, are you kidding with that, Scott?
I haven't been asked to yet.
Okay. Sometimes they're at 4 or 5. I believe that yeah, it should be posted on the agenda in the next day or two.
Okay, super, super.
So there'll be 2 agendas. There'll be one that is for the workshop, and then one that will be for the commission meeting.
Okay. All right. I have an interest in that, so I am sure that I will attend, because I just don't understand why the staff doesn't already have that authority. It would make everyone's life so much easier if you were able to just, these small problems could be solved with the stroke of a pen. So I think that's a great idea. So I have a little bit of new business, and I think it has to do with attendance. So there's Scott, will you help me with the rules about that, please?
I was actually figuring you were going to ask that question, and I was just looking, trying to find what our rules are on attendance, and I couldn't find them in our code.
I found them not too long ago, but I don't remember
Is
where.
it somewhere else?
There is a percentage. I think you can miss 3.
Chair,
you can miss
may I
3.
say something?
I thought it was,
It's actually 2 consecutive times missed or 4 times in a calendar year.
and you know what code section that is?
2 consecutive?
2 consecutives or 4 total in a calendar year.
Right, and that doesn't matter whether they're excused or not. It's just, you got to be here. So,
And I'm sorry, Scott, I don't have that.
I was trying to look that up, because I was thinking that there was that in our rules, but I could not find that in the.
and I thought it was 3, so 4
Yeah, I was
surprise.
thinking
I thought it was
too.
3 too, but Valerie and I both looked it up today.
Okay, and Miss Arthur now is 3, is that correct this year?
We recorded 2, but that could be, I could be wrong. I could have had something prior to my being in this position, so there could very well be a 3rd.
Well, attendance is really important, and which goes without saying. We can't, and so, and it's not that I don't want Miss Arthur to be on board, but I want Miss Arthur to be on the board,
Right.
right? So,
We're here to do a job.
exactly right. It doesn't take long. We're rarely here more than an hour.
Yeah, we've had one or two longer, yeah, but you're right.
Okay. And even during football season and hunting season, I generally show up. No, I don't watch pro ball. I watch the other pro football, the college pro football. All right. Well, what I would like to know for sure, the number, please.
I will, I have your email, so I can email you that
Thank you.
ordinance tomorrow.
If you can copy me with that too?
I will, yes.
Because it would, if we have language in there that says, if you miss a certain number, you forfeit the seat, then it's really for the commission to deal with.
Right.
In terms of.
I understand
reappointment.
that.
So they just need to know, has she forfeited, or is she eligible for them to remove her? Because they can remove somebody with or without cause for our
Right.
ordinance. But, would that be a reason for removal of someone who's not able to attend regularly?
Right.
But either way, I think ultimately that's going to be the commission to resolve that.
I agree with that, and the commission could remove her and automatically reinstate her as well.
Right.
How long are our terms?
2 years.
2?
2 years. So, yeah, we are appointed for 2 years. And next month in January, then, the first item of business in January will be to elect a chair of the board. And I will tell you now that I would take the job if you nominate me, so there's no questions about that as there were last year.
Perfect.
Okay? So I'm telling you that, I will do that. But I'm not politicking.
You're the man for the
I'm not
job.
politicking for the job. I'm just saying that if you choose me again, I will be honored and I will do it. But last year it was,
Next, Chairman, at the next meeting, it'll be on the agenda for me to kind of go over sunshine law, public records law.
Absolutely.
Various issues come, and that's our, sort of our organizational meeting, so that'd be a good meeting to do that.
yes, sir, that would be that's a great idea. Scott, thank you. A great idea. All right. Does anyone have anything else? Well, we won't see each other before Christmas, and the city made our Christmas nicer, didn't it?
I certainly did.
See you next year, sounds good.
So that's, well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Doesn't require a second, or does it? It does require a second.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Second.
but there is no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Everybody have a great holiday.
Adjourn. Happy Christmas. Merry New Year.